Hey everybody. I just want to talk to you today about how you know you're heading in the right direction. Okay? Um, and with everything speeding up, like timelines and things like that, and we're watching things happen very quickly, you know. The other day, well, I guess it's been few months ago, my husband and I have been looking for a house, right? We found a house that we absolutely love. Things just haven't quite fallen into place yet for us to acquire this house. So, but we both really we love the house. It's like perfect. And I told him, I said, a couple weeks went by and I told him, I said, before we signed the contract, before we did anything, I would want to go back because it has a barn. And we didn't get to see the barn because the gate was locked the day that we went out there. So I told him, I said, and all of this is to tell you, to show you a point. I told him, I said, before we sign the contract, I'd want to go back and see the house and see the barn. Because obviously I need the barn for my horse, right? So, and then I told him, I don't know, it was like somewhere in the conversation, I said, wouldn't it be cool to go out, to ride by there one day and just see the people out there and be able to stop and talk to them? Because I felt such a connection to the house and I felt such a connection to the people, even though I had no clue who they were. So those things were in my conversation, right? And back before my dad passed, my ex-husband and I had bought property. I had drawn plans for the house that I wanted to put on that property. Well, that didn't come into fruition. And right before my dad passed, because he was an architect, he drew plans. So I had him go over the plans and I told him, I said, I had really put a lot of thought into if I could have the perfect house, what would it be? And so I drew out these plans and he said, you pretty much have everything. I can't improve on this. And I explained to him why I had certain things where I had it and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, because my dad and I had worked on that, when he passed, I told him, I said, Dad, after, in my conversations with him since he's been gone, I said, Dad, lead me to my house. Help me get my house, the one that you and I worked on, okay? So, fast forward to, about a week ago? Yeah, I guess it was a week ago. My husband and I went for a motorcycle ride. We went out to look at the property that hasn't sold yet for whatever reason, I don't know. But anyway, on the way back, we stopped and got ice cream. And I told him, I said, let's just ride by the house, the one that we really liked. I said, we'll just ride by and, I said, maybe they'll be out in the yard. Wouldn't that be cool? So he and I, we ride by the house. And as we ride by, the guy that owns the house is in the yard. And as we ride by, he waves. So I waved back. We get to the end of the road, which is like right at the end of the property. And I stopped and my husband and I are just grinning. And I was like, should we go back? And he's like, why not? He's like, we'll just tell him that we saw a sign in the yard. So anyway, which there was a for sale sign in the yard. So we go back and he's standing out there and his wife had just come out. So we're standing there having the most amazing conversation with this couple. And in the conversation, I'm looking at this man thinking, oh my God, you look just like my dad. And I told him, I said, I hope you don't mind me telling you this, but you look just like my dad. And it was like Dad was standing right there next to me. So, and the floor plan for this house is not exact, but it is pretty freaking close to what I drew before my dad passed away. So, and so the couple is like, you know, do you want to see the house? Well, first of all, they showed us the garage. Then she said, well, if you're interested, do you want to see the house? And I said, yes, I would love to see the house. I did not tell them we had been there before because I wanted an honest opinion. I wanted, you know, and honestly, I wasn't sure how to say it. So I chickened out. Yeah, I said it. I chickened out. So, but what happened, we're going through the house and he's explaining, because he actually built this house. My dad and I used to build houses. Well, there were houses that we built together. So anyway, he's explaining the construction of the house, what they did, why they did it. She brings out this book. They give us history on the property, which we did not get before. We walked down to the pond. We're talking about the pond and all this kind of stuff. And she said, oh, do you want to see the barn? While you're here, let me take you up and show you the barn. So we walked through the barn. So anyway, I'm telling you, when you follow your intuition, when you put something out that is on your heart and you follow your intuition, the universe is here to make it happen. Now, we have not signed the contract yet because, again, there are things that are out of my control that need to fall into place. And I know that if it's meant to be, it will all fall into place and everything will be perfect. So, but now we have added to, because we met these people, we've added to our desire for them, their benefit, you know, because it's not just about us. Now that I have met them, it's about them too, and how they can move on, because until they sell the house, they can't really move on with their lives and they want to travel. So I saw my dad, basically. I got to see the house again. And I know now that once everything falls into place, I would sign a contract on that house in a flat minute. So I've seen the house again. We got to see the barn. We followed my intuition to just ride by the house. And if they were in the yard, we would get to say, get to talk to them. So we rode by the house. They were in the yard. We got to talk to them. We learned more about the house that we did not know. And it's when you step back and you see even the small things that the universe just orchestrates for you. Whether you call it coincidence, that's not a coincidence. There's just, you cannot tell me that's a coincidence. So it's when those kind of things fall into place, it's for the right reasons. And you're heading in the right direction. Because if it wasn't for the highest and best of all involved, it wouldn't have happened that way. We would have gone by the house and they wouldn't have been out in the yard. Or they would have been getting ready to leave or, something. But they were just like, you know what? Because I told them, I said, I don't want to invade your time. We just stopped by, but she's like, no, you're giving us a break because they were doing yard work. So, follow your intuition. Even if it doesn't make sense at the time, if it's something you've asked for, just even in a conversation. I mean, this happens all the time. I can tell you time and time again where my husband, I'll have a conversation, I'll just think something, my husband will say something, and then it just happens. So when you think about manifesting and, oh, well, I've never manifested anything, it doesn't work. Go back over your life and look even at the little things that you can't explain why it happened, but it was something that your heart was on, you really wanted to happen. That's manifesting. That's your desires coming to fruition. That's the universe giving you what you want. And it doesn't come from, not from a greedy entitlement kind of thing. But like I said, I just wanted to share that with you guys because be grateful for even the little things. You know, and as the little things come in and you tell the universe, thank you, that was exciting. I mean, the two of us are just like, I don't want to sound like a goofball, but we are just like giddy excited. I mean, literally, because we see this is daily for us. You know, even with all the craziness that's going on in the world. And yeah, I want to say strike 3 happened, yesterday, day before, with the the fighting match. Again, it's just all part of what has to play out to continue waking people up. So, yeah, like I said, just when you have gratitude for even the smallest things that you want and then you get them, the universe will bring you so much more. And again, I cannot wait from excitement to tell, not from a place of lack or anything else, not from a negative place, but I'm just excited to see how the rest of this plays out. So, because I know it will. I know it will with the same conviction that I knew God would put me in this house. I didn't know about this specific house, but I just knew if it was meant to be, I would be in a house with a view of the mountains and the other things that I got or that I desired. And that's exact. God, when I followed my intuition, God led me straight to this house. And it has everything I asked for. And the next house has everything we've asked for, including asking my dad to help me acquire the house that I had drawn the plans for. So, yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. You know, I focus on the positives. Focus on the joy that the universe wants to bring you. And they'll bring you more joy. You know, along the way, yes, you may have bumps and kind of a rocky ride. But see the beauty in it. You know, find gratitude in everything. Even if it's messed up or even if it's bad at the time, because then later you'll see that it wasn't bad because it happened for a reason. And if you need to heal something, heal something. You know, we're all manifesting. It's just, and again, with the craziness, don't focus on the crap. Know it's there, yes, but don't send energy to it because you get what you focus on. If you focus on the messed up mess, you're going to get more messed up mess. So, I send you love. I send you light. I'm excited. I hope you're there with me. So anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing day and we'll talk soon.